So you've made $5 million, congratulations. But now you might be thinking, how do you invest it? How much should you allocate to different investments? What types of assets should you invest in? And how do you invest to protect what you've earned, but also not settle for below average returns? Before I dive right in, I should quickly introduce myself. My name is Daniel O'Loughlin, and I've over a decade of experience in the investment world. I'm a chartered alternative investment analyst. I was an investment analyst at S&P Global. I hold a master's in finance, and I've also published papers on predicting asset prices that made a significant impact in the field of behavioral finance and investing. But most importantly, I spent all these years studying markets and building the tools to consistently outperform them, which ultimately allowed me to quit my job to pursue managing my own personal wealth full-time 4 years ago. So, the biggest mistake I see new millionaires make is thinking that they can invest the same way that they did when they had $50,000 or $100,000. At the $5 million level, the game is completely different. You actually have enough wealth now that you don't have to work if you don't want to, and that's a freedom that most people don't ever get to experience until they retire. And so wealth preservation is very important here, and not just trying to aim for the biggest gains that you can make. So if you're a new millionaire, here's how I'd structure a $5 million portfolio. So you made $5 million, let's make sure you keep it. We're going to want to keep the majority of that in generally safer assets. So we create the wealth preservation bucket. Overall, your allocation to this bucket should approximately be 60%. This will set us up such that your money is always growing slowly over time, but also be protected and not face the more extreme drawdowns. So assets to include here include income producing real estate, perhaps some bonds, and high quality stocks, with some producing dividends also. The goal here is steady, compounding growth that also provides a little cash flow. Now for part 2 of the portfolio, we're going to focus a little on cash. You're going to need to maintain a cash buffer. This is to be able to pay for living expenses and also to capture new opportunities. So for your living expenses, I'm going to recommend that you spend 3% of your net worth. Now you could push it to 4% if you feel like you need to, but you definitely don't want to go much higher than that. This 4% rule is a good rule of thumb that allows you to keep increasing your net worth while also being able to spend and live off it. So 4% of $5 million is $200,000. So if you've no cash or income coming from anywhere else, such as a business, this is the maximum that you want to be spending every single year. Yes, you have $5 million and you can go buy sports cars and crazy fancy houses, but unless you have income from another source, you will go broke if you don't manage your spending. Remember, this video is about growing your wealth indefinitely. This is how you create generational wealth. Now, furthermore on cash, we also want to keep some for investment opportunities. Every few months or years, truly great investment opportunities do arise. And if you have cash, you'll be ready for them. People that invested in real estate back in 2012 did extremely well, but nobody had cash because the recession in 2008 destroyed everyone. So it was only those who prioritized holding a cash pile for special opportunities who benefited from the low prices through to 2012. Similarly, anyone who invested in tech after the COVID-19 crash made a fortune. But again, the market crashed and few actually had a cash pile to invest at that point. So let's keep another 5 to 10% in cash for this purpose. You'll be ready to take advantage of real wealth building opportunities. So now you have your wealth preservation bucket sorted, you have your cash and your opportunity fund sorted. Now let's focus on the capital appreciation strategy. This part of your portfolio will give you the best overall growth in the long run, but you need to make sure that you do it correctly, otherwise it can seriously slow down the growth of your wealth. Yes, this is the growth part of your portfolio, but it does not mean high risk. The goal here is to take advantage of high growth opportunities, but while also keeping the downside risk low. What traditional investment managers consistently get wrong is completely avoiding high volatility assets. High volatility doesn't just mean up and down like a yo-yo. Some high volatility assets are skewed to provide larger upside gains compared to the downside over the long term. There are investments out there that show clear signs of accumulation and pressure building that ultimately results in this asymmetric outsized return. So if you know how to spot them, you can outperform the overall market. I can't give you specific examples of where to place your money right now because timing is an important factor here, and if you're watching this video a year from now, the investment landscape could be completely different. But I can show you how to find these investments yourself. If that video would be of interest to you, drop a message in the comment section and subscribe to the channel and I'll be able to see how much demand there is. Now again, I want to highlight that this is not a case to put your wealth into high-risk assets like meme coins or something. I'm highlighting here that there are often quality investments brewing in a pressure cooker every few months. And if you learn how to spot them, you can create asymmetric upside to your wealth. For example, tech stocks showed a huge buying opportunity at the start of 2023 when the rest of the world was fearful of recessions and reduced technology company earnings. In my 2023 annual investment letter, which Seneca private clients receive, I suggested investing in a handful of tech companies that caught this opportunity. These included Nvidia, which has grown 512% since then, Shopify, which has done 149%, Alphabet, which has done 60%, and Taiwan Semiconductor, which grew by 86% since then. So, to remind you of what you should do, you want to allocate 60% to your wealth preservation bucket, 15% for cash and living expenses, and around 25% for capital appreciation strategies. So if you're a high net worth founder or entrepreneur and want advice on how to manage and grow your wealth, specifically targeted towards you as a high net worth individual and not some generic advice given by traditional financial advisors, we provide free content here on YouTube to help you out. Now, if you don't have the time to study it all yourself and research, we provide a private wealth desk to a select number of people who want all of the stress of investing taken care of, but while remaining in complete control. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, click the link in the description to learn more, or visit senecaprivate.com/apply, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.